Okay.
Okay.
I love the American.
Can Dude, I've been singing that song a lot, but I like to drive my wife crazy because I sing the lyrics wrong. I say, I love the American dream, red, white, and green.
I don't even know what the
And I
actual
just
words
love
are.
singing
That song sucks.
I don't know that song.
that song.
It's a car commercial.
I love the American dream.
All right, let's do this.
I'm Stephen Adams. This is Down to Doug. I'm miffed and peeved. That's not the words. What do I say?
Hello, I'm Alex Sabrinas. I'm not miffed and piffed. I'm about to dunk. I'm not miffed and piffed. Hello, I'm Alex Sabrinas. I'm not miffed and piffed. I'm down to dunk.
I'm Stephen Adams. I'm not miffed and peeved. I am down to dunk.
Yo, this PG and I'm down to dunk.
Scared money don't make none.
Good morning and welcome. Episode 6. 9. 5 of Down to Dunk. You can find us on CLNS Media Data Center.com -radio 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Of course, anywhere you subscribe to your podcasts or watch us streaming the podcast live on YouTube on our tripod. I am Luke. Join this morning, Andrew.
Slam through.
Taylor.
Well, I'm here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away. It's not fair. Slam through.
And
Congratulations.
Jay.
It's Jay.
Alanis Morissette and the Toronto Raptors.
Hey, man. Every time I hear that song, I think about your comment about the bass line.
Same.
It's irresponsible, is what you said. Reckless.
Fleece soloing the entire song.
And you're like, oh my
The
gosh.
entire song.
The entire song is him just like, I'm going to see how far I can get away in the studio today.
It's tight.
Hey, you're 2019
Oh,
NBA
Dun, dun, dun.
World Champion Basketball Toronto Raptors.
can you believe that? Isn't that crazy to think about?
It feels good.
It feels great.
It feels real good.
It was one of the most enjoyable basketball games I ever remember watching.
It really was. It was because a lot of times in an NBA game, someone will make a run and you can like see the momentum shift away from the other team. Neither team was letting that happen last
No,
night,
it was like a
which was
Right.
so awesome.
like a 3-hour tug of war where neither team budged until the very end.
It
across
was
the line.
right, and even then,
Yeah, it was a 1-point game basically.
like the Warriors weren't stopping. Danny Green turns the ball over, and they had a chance. They had a chance to win it.
Cousins was trying. I mean, it was a battle, like really like a battle. That there was one play in particular there at the end where DeMarcus Cousins had a rebound, and Kawhi and Serge, and they were all like, it was like a rugby, pit or whatever they call. I can't remember
Yeah.
what they call it, but it was one of those moments where I was like, they would all
Scrum.
scrum. Thank you. They would all freaking do anything at this point to win this game.
It was amazing.
It was a fantastic game.
And you have to credit the Warriors for fighting as hard as they did, being down as many guys that they were. Like they just didn't stop. But it wasn't enough.
No, Taylor, I have a final Twitter question that's just for you.
Wow.
What did you
Okay.
think about Van Fleet, the Van Fleet dagger to win the title for Toronto?
Van Vliet.
Talk to me about Van Fleet. Van Fleet, right?
Vliet.
It's Van Vliet.
Is it Van Vliet? That's how he spelled it. I was just making sure I did.
Double V.
Van Vliet. Talk to me about Van Fleet.
Frederick Vans Fromsch von Winkelmann. He looks great in a cap.
I'm trying to
He
figure out
was
if I should mute you
unbelievable
right
this
now.
series.
No, just let him go.
Why?
Trying to figure-
Fremji?
trying to
He
figure
was
it out.
unbelievable in this final series. He hit so many big shots that I texted you guys. I thought he should have won the Andre Iguodala Finals MVP award. because
Hubie Brown voted for him.
I saw that. That made me so happy. I
Yeah.
loved seeing that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
if
he
you guys
should
saw
not
it,
have,
too.
but
No.
yeah.
Was he their second most important player?
He hit the second most shots, big shots,
He hit a ballsy shot in like every game.
Every
it felt-
game.
It felt like.
every single game. He was sick last night. He had 22 points,
He set
and 5 of 11 from 3. He was unbelievable.
he set the record for the most 3-pointers made in an NBA Finals off the bench.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Do you know who the two guys that were? Anybody got a guess on who the two guys that were tied for first before he took it over?
Iguodala?
No. In one
Austin.
final series,
Oh,
Robert Ory
okay.
and J.R. Smith.
Yes.
Oh, JR, yeah.
JR.
Van Vliet was fan-freaking-tastic.
He outs-
Undrafted Wichita State.
Outscored Steph Curry in the finals, Game 6.
And
The last
defended
game in
him.
Oracle.
And they boxed and won basically with him as the primary defender on Steph.
He
for a
was
majority of the
awesome.
court. He was so
Dude, he was
so
good.
That boy is going to get paid when he comes up.
He's
Paid.
awesome.
What else, man? What else were some final slots? It was one of the best finals I remember. It was such a breath of fresh air not having to watch the Cavs play. Obviously, I think we could probably pivot here in a minute and talk injuries, but Bangelope asked, should we get Patrick McCaw on our team so we win the finals? He did get a three-peat. He's won 3 games, didn't play at all in the series, I don't think.
I know. Man, Serge was so good.
Dude, how
Yeah.
happy were you for him, man?
So happy.
That's
He's
so awesome.
He was so polished as a player that like those little shots right at the rim where he just seemingly had no touch whatsoever when he was with the Thunder. He made like all of those. He was awesome.
He held his ground against Cousins pretty well, like as well as you could for how gigantic Cousins
He
is
learned how to
comparatively.
pass.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was great. He's
He's
great.
in the perfect role on that Raptors team too.
For real.
No
There's not
question.
much expected of him,
He's the third baby.
and he can just come in. He had some games where he didn't score much, and he just blocked the mess out of everyone. And then last night he had how many points? 17 or something like
15 on 12 shots.
that. 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great.
He was good.
Kyle Lowry was fantastic in the first half. Didn't do
Dude.
anything in the second half.
No, 26 points, 10 assists, 7 boards, 3 steals, only 3 turnovers. He was awesome. He was a game high plus 16. Lowry was.
So Van Vliet's got one more year after this. So $9 grand. I mean, he's already making $9 million. So
Yeah.
he's got a good contract. It's not like he's that underpaid. I mean,
Pascal
apparently,
Siakam hit the biggest shot of the game, driving to the
on
rim
Draymond Green.
over Draymond.
He
He-
gambled for the steal, and he kind of a Euro step, really.
Yeah.
Euro stepped around him, finished the shot. Marc Gasol was horrific last night on offense.
he was exhausted.
Exhausted. Yeah. I don't know, man. It was a fantastic series.
Even Kawhi was exhausted.
There was one where he
Yeah.
tried to jump, and it was like he doesn't have any lift anymore.
You know who was the primary ball handler down the stretch?
Van Vliet.
Fred.
Fred.
Yeah.
It
That was
Fred.
wild.
I know.
Well, I
It's-
remember. So, I mean, when watching this game, is you watch you remember when the Thunder played Toronto back to back earlier, and was it February? Maybe?
Yeah.
They played them back to back, and Lowry was out game 1.
Yeah.
It wasn't back to back. I think there was a day between. It was like Wednesday,
Yeah.
Friday, or something like that.
Home and home. Yeah.
And Fred was the starter.
And he killed it.
Killed the Thunder. I was like, who the hell is this guy?
He was awesome.
And
in that
Pascal
game.
Siakam was unstoppable in that game too. It was one of those things where we watched that team, and I remember Brett Dawson saying it because the Thunder ended up going to Toronto and beating them.
Yep.
And they needed that game enormously. But I remember Brett talking like Toronto's a really good team, and they've been a really good team all season, and it's not surprising that this is how they play against the Thunder.
Yep.
You know, it's like, oh well, I guess they are actually a good team because they're the world champions.
Yeah. It's amazing. They deserve it. I hope that we don't hear talk about, oh, the Warriors were
The
injured.
asterisks.
Yeah. They deserve it. Just period. Like I think
Dude, name me one NBA champion that wasn't helped in some fashion by
the Warriors were
the
helped every
injuries
single
every
year.
single year.
Every single
Yeah.
year.
And that's just what happens. Welcome to the NBA. Now, I will say this. I've never seen a team deal with as many especially devastating injuries as the Warriors did this season or this postseason. DeMarcus Cousins, first round quadricep torn.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant misses a month on a calf injury, comes back, and the first 10, 12 minutes of his coming back blows his Achilles tendon. Klay Thompson, game 6, literally playing the best series humanly possible, it felt like.
Yeah. Taylor, are you vacuuming?
No.
No.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, it does. It sounds like there's like a vacuum in the background. But the best game of, I mean, he's playing Klay game 6. That's what he's doing. Blows his left ACL out. Man, it was just, then you have Kevon Looney, who had this weird collarbone thing that apparently didn't actually matter. And everything.
Yeah, I never understood that.
Everything that they've done over the course of the last 5 years, it feels like finally caught up to them as far as their bodies. It just as physically, they are destroyed. The Warriors were.
Oh, like penance. They're paying penance.
Well, some people could say that.
Me. Paying the piper. Whatever deal they made 5-6 years ago. Oh, the piper always comes calling, and you got to pay the man.
Woj even tweeted that like making the playoffs in the Western Conference next year is not guaranteed for them. You're missing. I mean, Kevin Durant's probably gone, and he's not.
Even if he's
next
gone,
year
even if he's not,
anyways.
he's gonna not.
Clay is gonna miss the majority of the season.
Yeah.
You know what this means? We're gonna get fun Steph Curry all regular season, where those years that Steph would have 51 points and they'd still lose.
No, we're gonna get
That's
6 of
what I'm
17 Steph Curry.
Maybe like all. So here's the thing:
You just triple team him.
the Warriors don't have the flexibility to build a team around just Steph
No.
this year. They're gonna have to pay Clay. They're gonna max Clay this offseason.
They have to.
They're gonna max Clay this offseason. They have to maintain some sort of salary flexibility to give Draymond probably more than they need to next year.
Yep.
They're not going to keep Durant. I would almost guarantee the way the whole surgery went down. You guys talked about it on the Dream Team. Like that was
It was weird.
the
They
fact
didn't-
that
they
he
didn't know about it.
he got in a plane, flew to New York, and had surgery on his own, and then they learned basically from like Instagram. It felt like
Yeah.
that didn't give you the most encouragement.
No.
Um,
They got to resign
They're-
Jonas Jerebko.
they're going to have a very flawed roster and Steph Curry for 3/4 of the season next year.
Yep.
Means next year in the draft, Warriors #1 pick.
Yeah, it could right.
Congrats.
But I
What's
do.
David?
Go ahead.
What's David Lee doing? Maybe they could get him back with Steph.
He's working out.
They
Remember
brought
when-
Bogut back.
Remember when David Lee made the All-Star team over Steph?
Oh my God.
You remember when
Yes.
David Lee, as soon as they moved him out of the starting lineup and put Draymond in, they became the best team
Yeah.
of an era.
Yep.
Well,
Hey.
it took him getting injured before they even did it.
David Lee was good, kind of.
Do you remember?
He was good.
Have we ever talked about how awkward it is that Mark Jackson calls Warriors games?
Yeah.
Like still makes me feel uncomfortable.
He's an uncomfortable guy.
Yeah, just in general.
Hey, you guys want to know a place where you can go and be very comfortable? Our NBA draft party next. Next Thursday, June 20th at Banquet Cinema Pub. This is an all ages event. Andrew Sneeze. It starts at 6. All ages need to be there. It is going to be fun. We also have our mock draft competition. Check our Twitter if you want to take part in that. The winner of that
Just
will
go to
get
downtodunk.com.
go to downtodunk.com. It's also available through our Twitter. We'll be hyping it up all week. The winner will get a big time prize. It's free to enter, but you must be present to win. And why wouldn't you be present? It's going to be a ton of fun. Check it out.
Prize
Banquet
package.
Cinema Club.
The Mule, Anchor Down, the Press,
Everybody. Oklahoma Shirt Company.
Oklahoma Shirt Company,
Taylor's going to give you $10 out of his pocket.
Anthem Brewing, a part of the package. It's going to be cool.
He didn't say no.
It is going to be cool.
I'm not denying it.
Hey, so just before we move on to the rest of the Twitter questions, when you look at the Raptors, you look at this offseason, do any of you all predict that this is the beginning of some sort of, I mean, obviously it all depends on Kawhi, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on Kawhi.
what does this roster look like? So you have Marc Gasol is going to opt in more than likely to his player option, unless he negotiates something with Toronto to finish his career there. So he's got $25 million. Kawhi's going to opt out. He's going to get whatever major money he can get if he stays in Toronto. And it's still, who knows with him? I don't know. Like, he literally accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. And so now it's what? Where he wants to play.
I think he really wants. You think he'll really leave? I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't know. He is very,
he's
very
weird.
unpredictable.
He's
very weird.
But it would be really, 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 really weird to leave this team.
It
It would
would
be
be.
really strange.
It's your team. Like, you, and I think if he stays, this whole team, like, they'll be back in it obviously next year.
Yeah.
Although the East is just has the chance this offseason to actually maybe take over the West for the first time in 20 years.
And it'll be strange, like with Kevin, because there was a world where like Kevin Durant, Kemba, join this Knicks team and they get good role players. And like, oh, like maybe that's the best team in the East. But now, like, that could still happen, but you just have, the New York Hornets up there, and so like this Toronto team has a good chance to get back there.
Yeah.
If
I mean, you have Philly,
if he returns.
depending on what happens with their free agents, right? And then you have Boston. Boston doesn't get me excited. Now, if they make a move for Anthony Davis, but if they have Anthony Davis and not Kyrie Irving, like, ooh.
Yeah, I have no idea what to think about them.
I don't know. I mean, I think you still have a great chance. I just think he's so freaking unpredictable.
He is. I don't know.
But I will say this. Masai Ujiri last night, literally as he's on stage celebrating with the Raptors, Woj posts that the Wizards are going to offer him $10 million a year to be their GM.
Yeah. Fred has actually been on that one for a while.
I know.
And people have been like, what are you talking about? Well, they're not going to get Masai. And then they're like, yeah, we'll give you $10 million a year. I mean, you have to.
No, Masai probably told him to leak that so that he could get a better contract with the Raptors. Use it as leverage.
The Wizards they're less than a week away from the draft
and don't have a GM.
And they don't have a GM.
And they have like at least they have a lottery pick, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they've got like the 9th pick.
So
in a draft where like nobody knows who should be the 9th best guy in this draft, you got to have a GM. They don't have one. You think Masai's been doing his research on the top 10 picks in the draft? Like, he's got a team. He's got a team in the finals.
Yeah. You're just punting. You're punting this draft basically, which may be a draft you can actually do that with.
And to their credit, they have drafted guys like Jan Vesely in the first round anyways. So like, why do your research?
Dude, my friend texted me. He saw a tweet that said the highest picked guy in the draft on the Raptors is number 15.
Kawhi.
Yeah.
Number 15.
Isn't that crazy?
Nuts, man.
Yeah. That's the highest pick. Wow.
The highest pick.
He also told me that Canada, because I was telling him about Luke saying,
who
like, do they
friend?
go visit Trudeau?
Yeah,
His name's Grant. His name's Grant Huffines.
Hey, Grant Huffines has just been listening to sports radio because that about the draft picks has been floating around everywhere.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, then delete this part. But don't delete this part. He told me Canada is a commonwealth of the UK. So actually, they might be going to visit the Queen.
That would be awesome. I wish, because they normally when they win, they go see Trump. Well, now
the Blue Jays,
they're not going to.
Well, yeah, the Blue Jays were invited to the White House back in the day.
There's no way they're invited by Trump to the White House.
No,
They're going to go see Trudeau, or they should go see the Queen.
They'll be invited.
They should go across the sea.
Whether they'll go or not, I don't know.
Across the pond.
They'll be invited.
Yeah, they'll be invited.
Did you know
they
that
will.
Canada was a commonwealth of the UK?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
I did not know that. Well, you learn something stupid every day.
There you go, man.
So do we want to talk? Do we feel like the KD stuff will be talked about more than? I mean, is it worth moving on from us?
Old news. Let's talk about him in a year when he
like.
Matters.
What's he going to do? Give me your best prediction.
I think he signs with the Knicks.
You think Knicks or Nets?
I think he signs with the Knicks.
I think so too.
Taylor, what do you think?
I think he's going to unfortunately gain an addiction to pain pills.
There's the kid.
Taylor.
The kid coming through.
Come on,
Kid,
kid.
muted.
Come on, kid.
Uh,
You're muted. We can't hear you.
yeah, I think he's gonna leave.
I think the destination is the question. For
Where do you
me.
think he's? Where do you think?
I think
Jay?
you're right. I think Knicks or Nets.
Yeah.
Like both of those. I think that the Nets were the ones that were posturing like they were getting ready for him.
Yeah.
Knicks have been too, but like I think the Nets coming out of the blue and making the move to free up the
Yeah.
space. Kyrie's.
Does the injury change their approach?
No, I don't think it should. I mean, the Nets can take a year. I mean, Kyrie's young. I don't know. You've got to go all in. There, even with Kyrie, well, who knows what Kyrie brings to a team as the leader? It's still kind of debatable, but they've got it. They've got it. I know they've got a good team. I think D'Angelo Russell's gone, obviously, if they are planning to do that. But
right.
Yeah, I think the Nets is the cooler option. I like him going to the Knicks just because of the legendness of the team.
Yeah.
But I hate James Dolan so much, and he doesn't deserve to have a good team. Not like I can evaluate teams based on owners, but there are a few that you can. So I don't know. That would be Luke Helms,
big Prokhorov guy.
Luke Austin Helms asked that question, and I just thought it was something if we needed to deal with anymore. I know the Katie injury has been talked ad nauseum, pretty much everywhere.
The truth is, it's one of the biggest things to happen in NBA history.
Yeah, at Warner West said, "Is Katie's injury the most devastating as far as quality of the league is concerned?" And
I think without a doubt, because I think that he was going to be the best player in the NBA next year.
Yep.
Like, can you imagine LeBron? Let's say LeBron before the season, before he goes to Cleveland,
comes back,
tears his
in the finals, game 5.
He's gone.
Oh my God! Before he goes to Cleveland, that is a different story.
That's what I mean. Like he's with Miami. Blows his Achilles out. Like that would be to me it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, if KD was coming back to OKC, I think it would be because there was such a big deal that he was going back to Cleveland. Well, like KD, but he's going to New York. I mean, what does it matter?
I will say this: there is a difference. Cleveland being LeBron's home is a different than Oklahoma City. I know we're on two different planes of this conversation because I'm not trying to debate the kind of nuance of that. But I think that the Cleveland connection to LeBron, I've always been careful not to use the same connection of KD to.
It's not the same, yeah.
KD to Oklahoma City, but anyway, I don't know. It's enormous. Like, it is literally, and with Clay, like, I know the assumption was from probably majority of people that Clay was going to re-sign with the Warriors, but it really is two of maybe the biggest prizes of free agency this summer. Both of them have gone down.
The Warriors screw around and they're just like, "Hey, you just had this devastating injury. We'd like to give you less than the max."
Okay, the Lakers will give me a max.
The Lakers,
tomorrow.
The Clippers, the Knicks, the Nets.
But surely, Bob Myers is leap years ahead of us, guys.
Oh, dude, all he's gonna do in that meeting is get a few sniffles in there. Say, this is how he's gonna start the meeting with Clay. It's gonna be less than a max. And then Clay's like, Bob, oh my God, I believe every single thing you say now because you're crying.
Yeah.
Holy crap. You know what, Bob, whatever you need, it's all for you, buddy.
Taylor, question. Do you think that Bob is just a dry crier?
No, absolutely not. That was so put on. Okay, there was so much time
between. Why I ask you this. Keep going.
There's so much time.
The floor is yours, Taylor.
Before the press conference. Like, if you cried, you already cried and you handled it. You had the sniffles and like a cracky voice or a weak voice the entire press conference. And then you start lamenting about how, like, he's a good guy. All he wants to do is play basketball. I thought that was so ridiculous. I don't know why people aren't talking about that.
It left me feeling so weird.
Dude, people are afraid to say that they think he was lying. Why? Why is it weird to say that I think that a man was fake crying for like a PR reasons?
If you were judging by his face, it seemed very fake.
Dude, you don't just like have sniff, and the sniffs, there was no snot in those sniffs. There was no bubbles. There was no snot in those sniffs. Those were allergy sniffs. That was so fake, dude. Jay, I know that I'm very cynical and that you didn't like how cynical I was being, but I just don't trust.
No, it's not
I just don't
necessarily
trust
that.
like front office people, especially being emotional like that in public. There's like, dude,
It's part of that
Anyway.
because we're so used to our robot general manager.
I don't know.
no.
I don't know.
So I think here's the and dude, I'm not Bob Myers' defender here. I don't really give a crap, but I think the only thing I would say is that the combination of all of the crap that was on his shoulders and his mind or heart at that point, that's the only reason I could say there could be a push of emotional, like
Also,
going in front of people and be like, I may have, like, literally as the head of this organization,
they've screwed this up.
I may have literally cost one of the best players of our era a season. And because not just like, oh, I feel personal responsibility, but I also feel the weight of everybody questioning what we've done as an organization.
Here's what I think you felt the weight of is Kevin's free agency.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
Yeah.
I think the
Thank
weight of
you.
all of those things could have gone into it. So it could have been I said this in a text message thread. It's like I'm one of those guys that probably errs on the side of seeing, hopefully, that not everybody's evil or deceptive, kind of thing. And so, from all accounts, like anything you've heard from any media members is he's a good dude. Like it seems, I don't know. It's hard for me to think that would be inauthentic. There's no way.
Good dudes do things that aren't authentic.
You're right. And the hard part for me is I'm like, this is where it goes back to like the jilted lover is like, hey, Bob, you will never love Kevin Durant the way that this freaking city did. You jackass. Like
Right.
if that would have happened in game 5 of the Thunder playing in the finals,
Right.
you would have had a city in mourning.
It would have been devastating.
For real.
And they're up there just like, all right. Well,
Okay, let's move our building to San Francisco.
Right.
Freaking jerk.
Yeah, I love that they lost in Oracle the last night. They
We're not
lost,
even going to talk about the fact that they're abandoning Oakland.
They lost.
We want to talk about that? Anybody want to talk about that?
They
Like,
lost all 3 games.
just exactly
in
what the
Oracle.
49ers did. They except for San Francisco, and they're like, oh, we're going to move where everything's way more expensive and only rich people can come to our games. That's what happened.
They want to make money.
Why would they want to
but
do
they
that?
they just care about the well-being of Kevin Durant.
Hey, give me your best impersonation, Taylor.
It's an Achilles. I don't know the extent. That part, dude. The first damn 5 seconds
He's
of the whole thing.
Taylor's watched
I'm like,
it, what,
he's so
35
full of
times?
That was
crap.
good.
Dude, it makes me it truly makes me angry that he didn't approach that with more of a professionalism, given like I just what's expected of those guys. And let me say this. If you are Bob Myers and you did feel like, oh crap, I was the primary push, the primary pressure to get this guy back on the floor, and you felt bad about it, you wouldn't go out and cry about it like that, or that is how you would approach it to make sure that optics were on your side or to gain some kind of media benefit.
I agree. I think
You know what I'm saying?
I think that he was putting on a face for Kevin.
In the media, dude, everyone was like, wow, what an emotional Bob Myers. What a good guy. Stan Van Gundy yesterday brought up a really good point where they asked him about Bob Myers, and he said the only thing he disagreed with was when Bob said, if you need to blame me, if you need to blame someone, you can blame me, but really you can't blame anyone. And he was saying like how he wishes it was consistent because how often do they just blame a coach when something bad happens? Like a GM will fire a coach like that for some dumb reason. And I thought, you know what? That's a really good point. The one time he says no one's to blame is probably when he's to blame.
Kerr played him 12 of the first 14 minutes.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do that.
But that's also because the organization said full clearance.
Yeah, no holds.
No minutes
holds.
restriction.
But still, you should. And they also said if this was a regular season game, he wouldn't have played. They said that.
Dude,
So
people are, I get it.
like
dude,
they made a mistake. They made a mistake.
Because now the current of conversation on the media level is like, why are we a society where there always has to be somebody to blame? Like, why is there always? I'm like, because there are moments where people have actual responsibility for what took place.
And they made a mistake.
They made a mistake. Absolutely, they made a mistake.
It doesn't have to be like they wanted him to get hurt. They just made a mistake.
And there's also, I think there's part of it where the pressure of the narrative that's going on, all of those things play into it. And what the Warriors should have done is when they got the initial evaluation, where there's numerous people that have talked about that specific type of calf strain.
Yeah.
Rule them out. Kevin Durant will not play for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Rule him out.
Guess what?
And then if he can
move on. And then it's a sweet surprise if he does. You don't have to deal with the crap that everybody's like, you look at, which
they made many
makes
mistakes.
me nuts, man. It's like, oh, so Kevon Looney is playing with a jacked up shoulder, and that's the same thing as Kevin Durant playing with a calf that is shredded.
Yeah.
Like all of these injuries that everybody else is playing through, it's not the same,
It's
man.
not
The
the same.
danger of the Achilles is like one of the biggest injuries in basketball, and it's one of those things like it's not comparatively like the same. You can't do that. It made me, the whole thing was so dumb. And I think you're right, Taylor. You mentioned this, like historically, majority of mainstream media, God, I can't believe I just said that. I feel sick to my stomach. But the majority of basketball media, especially in the ESPN, they literally view everything from the Warriors organization with like rose-colored glasses.
You know why? Because they're getting fed info from the Warriors PR.
Yeah.
And they're really
Nah,
good.
Bob wouldn't do that, dude. Bob would not be behind
We just spun into info wars. Like we're like the NBA info wars here.
Goblin blood.
It's true.
But yeah, it's just
They're
such
really
a
good.
strange.
They're
Yeah,
turning
sure.
our frogs gay.
Yeah, I don't know. The Raptors are NBA champions.
I know,
That's
and
what
it feels so good, man.
Here's the thing. This is the thing. The wild thing about this week that has made me the most mad. All of a sudden, we can't like feel good that other teams are going through hardships. Like right now, we can't feel like that. And like that's what Twitter's all about. Like, hey guys, like you got to feel for their team and all this. It's like, guess what? Sports is about, part of it at least for me, is about watching great like fans just crumble and hate their lives when their team plays bad, and feeling good about yourself and your team when that happens. A little bit. That's why I like watching. That's why I like. It's why I like watching and listening to like Sports Animal after OU losses. People do that, and that's, you can't like. And it's just been such a. It just because it's the Warriors this week having hardships, we can't be like, like next year's gonna be fun when they're not monopolizing, the Western Conference.
Well, I mean, I think there's a difference in like wanting the Warriors to lose games and like these guys like having devastating injuries that will impact the rest of their lives.
Yeah, it happens. It happens every day in every sport, all around, and like that's just part of it.
It's not.
It's in every sport.
These are the best. No, this does not happen. This does not happen in every sport where like 2 of the top 10 players in the NBA have injuries where they're going to miss most of the year. That does not happen every day.
Okay,
like never in the NBA ever
it
once
happens.
has it ever happened.
Not really. This is not
Hold
really.
on.
I don't know. I cannot pinpoint a single moment when this has happened in the NBA. It'd be like
No. People didn't know that it was his Achilles, though. They thought he just re-injured the same calf.
during the game.
We didn't know it was the Achilles. Yeah.
Dude, almost
I don't know what
immediately
you're talking
people.
about.
What? During the game when the Raptors cheered.
That's not what we're
When
talking
the
about.
Raptors-
That's not what we're talking about at all.
What are you talking about?
Not that.
But
You're
the-
just
No,
talking about being happy
dude.
when someone's injured?
Dude, so I'm on the side of you, Taylor, where I feel like the Raptors fans, like, they got destroyed in the media, and people finally kind of backed away a little bit. But it's like they didn't know.
What were they supposed to do in that moment?
Like, oh Lord, oh sweet baby,
oh
We did not
that
know
we
in
don't.
that
That I
moment.
don't.
everybody start
care.
crying immediately.
That's fine. Like they.
That's what they should have done.
I mean, name one fan base that wouldn't have reacted the same way they did.
Exactly.
I don't think there is one.
Golden States wouldn't have.
Not those.
Not those guys.
They're light years ahead. They can
Yeah.
foresee what
They-
the injuries are.
They have real-time X-rays for all injuries on the floor.
Right.
Yeah, they just have owners that push the opposing players.
Right.
I forgot about that. Think about something that just disappeared. That guy.
That was in this series.
Felt like it was a month ago. Hey, but
I
you
know.
know what's awesome?
Mm-mm.
I said this last week. I'm gonna say it again. The draft, less than a week away.
I know.
it never stops. The NBA never stops. It is immediately gone to the next thing. Hey guys, let's go to our next thing called Twitter questions.
Twitter questions.
I do feel bad for Clay.
Yeah, he's the only person I like on that team anymore.
Guys,
I agree.
our first Twitter question comes from @BlogOKC, who wants to know which player in the draft, not named Zion, has the highest talent ceiling.
Probably John Morant.
You think?
I mean, yeah.
As the two on the big board. So here's
He
two.
has a chance to be a starting point guard in the NBA near All-Star.
I've been
level
listening to my man, Sam Vecini.
Yeah.
And so now I feel like I am pretty much a draft expert.
I mean, you pretty much are.
So guys that I think have incredible, because what's the question again? Is it upside? Is it
Yeah.
ceiling? Is that what we're looking at
Highest
here?
talent ceiling.
Talent ceiling. Yeah.
Talent ceiling. So two guys that are way out of the John Morant range that everybody talks about. But the one that I listened to them talk about him yesterday, I was like, I kind of like the potential of this guy, Kevin Porter. Tell me about why. I know. The way they talked about Kevin Porter, it was like, oh, this guy, if he can get in the right situation,
He's a head case. He scares the crap out of me.
he's like Deion Waiters. That's what we said. Like every comp that I've heard is
He's
like
Deion.
he's
JR. He's those guys.
man.
I think that
This draft does so little for me outside of Zion.
it will do as little for the teams beyond Zion too.
I know. I actually kind of like RJ Barrett. I love his attitude. He's so left dominated. I think that's going to be a problem, obviously, in the NBA, but it's something you hopefully can move away from.
Like if you're Cleveland or somebody like that has really nobody on your roster, RJ will be awesome. If you're going to try to win like playoff games next year, like
No.
he's not a guy that's going to help you all that.
But I'll tell you what, from every indication I'm getting, is he's the kind of guy that's going to go to every indication I'm getting from the things I listen to, from guys that are actually getting indications from the actual team. Is RJ is not a guy that's scared of the moment, right? Like he's going to go to New York and like he's not going to be afraid of the spotlight of New York.
Yeah, I want to see him play.
Yeah.
Like I just want to see him play in the NBA. He reminds me of just like Harrison Barnes got the same kind of buzz.
Oh, get out of here.
Coming out of college.
No,
So,
I
like,
don't believe it.
He's fearless. He's like Kobe Bryant, like, all right. Like, I just want to see it.
Yeah, Harrison, I forgot that people thought he was the next Kobe.
Dude,
He was definitely not.
I don't know.
Maybe it's to come. Maybe Harrison
And like
Barnes
if
will become.
like if if RJ Barrett was in last year's draft, is he going 3?
I don't even remember who's
like-
in last year's draft. Hold on. Maybe. I don't know.
I'll
say this though, coming out of high school, RJ Barrett was the higher rated recruit than Zion.
right.
So, I mean, obviously it's not like it's just like a coming out of nowhere. The other guy that people talk about just like as far as physical, but he will not be this, but Cam Reddish is another guy that people are like, has all of the tools to be something, but probably won't be kind of guy.
Yeah, he shot 33% at Duke and was like a complete disappointment.
Yeah, isn't he like a physical monstrosity though?
He's 6'8". Yeah, he's a big wing that supposedly can shoot it. I don't know. He scares me.
You know what? Go for it. That's the guy. The guy who everyone's like, he's got the talent, but I don't think he's going to work out in the NBA. That's the guy that's going to work out.
I just feel like for the
He's
sake
the only guy.
of Andrew as well, I would go ahead and say that the probably other highest upside is Grant Williams from Tennessee. And
That's it. So last year's draft, DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley, Luka Doncic, Jaren Jackson, Trae Young, top 5. Are you taking RJ over any of those guys?
no.
That's what I'm saying. Like in a normal, like good draft, because this draft is bad because there's basically one good guy in the top 10 where you're like, that guy can change my franchise. Like there's not.
Last year, you legitimately thought all 5 of those guys could be franchise changers.
Last
You're right.
year, you thought, man, like Trae Young could be our franchise point guard.
Luka, Marvin Bagley,
Yeah.
DeAndre, and they're proving that they actually could be that. Now, I think I've said this to Michele this week, is I think that this draft, this is me like throwing out things like, hey, I'm trying to learn. Am I right? I think this draft has a lot of guys that will be like can be longtime NBA players.
It's a great role player
But,
draft.
yeah, exactly. Nobody that's going to transform your team
No.
except for Zion,
No.
in my opinion.
I mean, who knows if Darius Garland is going to be better than the 27th pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't know.
Well, so just one way to think about it. John Morant goes to Memphis, which is what it still kind of feels like it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Jaren Jackson was drafted, what, 5th last year? 4th?
I think it was 4th, yeah.
And Jaren Jackson is, I mean, he's the number 2 player will already be kind of the second tier guy on their team, Well, third because Jonas Valanciunas.
Right.
Who apparently they're going to re-sign for a longer deal.
I'm sure if I'm them, I'm like, sure, we'll re-sign you to a longer term deal.
Opt out. We'll
Go
sign
ahead
you for
and
5
opt
years.
out. Go ahead. Oh, did you hear? Did you hear that Charlotte has a great offer for you on the table?
Yeah.
We hate to see you go. You can go ahead
See you
and take
later.
that.
You hate to see it.
I mean, for real though, like I would not want. him on
No,
that
unless
team.
it's like we'll sign you for 5 years for $8 million.
Yeah. Here's the long-term offer, Jonas. Oh,
Dude, the guy's a grinder, man. He
He's
just
a-
gets
Hey,
in there and he plays hard.
He was pretty decent for them.
he's good. Like he's a good player. There's no question.
But
Yes.
a center like him, it's like the same questions we're about to ask about Steven Adams. Like, although I think
How
Steven is
dare
better
you?
than
Oh my goodness. Get out of here. Wow. Wow. We just had a direct comp from Jay. Jay, shut it. Shut it, Jay. You are muted. Shut it. Jay just said that Jonas Valanciunas and Steven Adams are the same person.
I heard it. I heard him say that.
That makes me
Exactly.
so mad, Jay. Of all people, I did not expect that from you, and I'm disappointed.
I'm gonna say
This
you've
is
gone
it's
completely
literally the most
180 on Steve
unfair
Adams.
way to have an argument in your life. I mean, it's
Mute
like
him.
no. So first off, not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that centers that don't shoot threes are just becoming
White
more and more
centers?
difficult to play.
Did you
I
just
heard
say
you
white?
it.
Yeah,
I
fine.
said white.
I'm not offended by saying that. White centers that can't shoot.
Wow.
Wow.
Jay,
A white cisgender straight
Wow,
male.
muted
I'm
again.
no. That was really disheartening, especially from Jay. I just never thought I would hear that from you, Jay.
So
I was
basically-
literally in the moment. I was on the verge of saying, although Steven Adams is way better than Jonas Valanciunas, like obviously,
It was really too late.
but I know
You had
because
said
I
too
was
much.
muted immediately.
you had said too much.
So no, everybody hear me before I get called an idiot on Reddit.
Too
Steven
late.
Adams is a great basketball player, and he also is singularly responsible for the Thunder losing against Portland. What else can I say? I'm so sorry.
Oh man.
Hey guys, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from @Matthew C7673, who wants to know, in your opinion, what would be the most realistic vet wing the Thunder could get for the 21st pick?
I put this question in there because one of the things that Andrew keeps going back to, and I think it's worth us looking at, is it's not necessarily that the 21st pick is going to reap the reward that you're looking for.
Right.
Like there may be just something where the 21st pick and Dennis Schroeder just gets you a decent backup point guard and $10 million in cap relief. But what that does is that frees you up the money to be able to make a decision with the MLE that could expand your roster and salary. Because what they're trying to do, from what Woj said on that draft special, what we're hearing from guys within the, like Brett, Royce, all these guys that are connected, is they're not just trying to salary dump. They're trying
They're
to
not trying to shed salary.
they're trying
for
to
the sake of
find
shedding salary.
It's they're trying to make these different moves so they can free up the space to be able to make an addition that's going to make a legitimate difference. And so we don't know. I don't think you may see something crazy on Thursday night where we are able to flip the 21 and Schroeder for a piece that you really feel like is going to make a difference.
Yeah.
But I think what's more legitimately going to happen is this is going to set it up to where when free agency hits, that the Thunder are going to be able to offer a larger role, but also probably more of their salary cap. So I think that's something we got to keep kind of in our mind, is like it may be devastating to hear like, well, we traded that for what?
Right. Wait, what?
Yeah.
What if you did Andre Robertson in the 21st pick for Etuan Moore?
I don't know.
Andre Robertson and the 21st pick for Etuan Moore?
Mm-hmm.
Is Etuan Moore that good now? That feels like just a little too much, doesn't it? I mean, I know he's got good stats, but I don't know
Man, he's a
if I've
43%, almost 40% 3-point shooter.
He can really, really shoot it, and he can.
He really can.
and he can defend. He's an 8-man rotation guy for you, no question.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard, man. I think that Dre changes the ceiling of this team defensively in a way that
Yeah, I just
shooting.
it's not even just shooting. It's like, who is Dre now?
I know. We don't know.
What is he? What does he do for your team?
I don't know. He's had a year and a half of healing from an injury. I hope that maybe he's close.
I don't know. Like I
don't
don't think you can make any assumption when it comes to Dre and what he is next season.
I also don't think. I also think it's important for us to remember that, like, GMs, especially this Thunder team, seeing that they have a 2-year window, watching the Raptors. Not that they're sitting there, oh, now we're going to try to do something that the Raptors did, but it's like you go in, like you have to kind of throw loyalty a little bit out the window to go all in to try to win a championship, because nobody's ripping Masai Ujiri right now for trading DeMar DeRozan. Nobody.
They won the championship.
It paid off. Even if Kawhi leaves this summer, it was absolutely worth it.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so you cannot hamstring a team. But man, I don't know. I this is why I couldn't be a GM, man. I'm too I can't trade Dre. I love Dre. I like him. No, I can't trade Steven Adams. I like Steven Adams. He's my guy. That's my guy.
I mean, you can do that.
I know. They will. If they have a chance to trade those guys and improve this roster,
If you get whatever they do, if they can get better, they'll do it.
yeah. Which is, I mean, that's kind of probably a dumb statement, but
What do you think about Chris Dunn?
About Chris Dunn?
Yeah, I'm asking you a question.
for what?
I
Like
don't-
Dre, or like is that a Schroeder salary dump?
Not Schroeder. No.
He just doesn't shoot.
He does not shoot.
He's also really just struggled his whole career so far.
Yeah, he's been. I mean, that's partly probably more on situational. He went from Minnesota to Chicago, and
It's just a question,
Got
guys.
hurt.
You can say
I'd probably
you
say
can
no
say
to that.
whatever you think. I say no too. I've been asked.
Yeah.
McKelly and I've been talking about him. I'm like, yeah.
no thanks.
No thanks. That Etuan Moore deal, I would do it.
Maybe
And
each one is unnecessary on that Pelicans
What do you?
team.
I don't know what your trepidation is, Taylor. Like, what is the 21st pick going to do for the Thunder next season?
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just the fact of like. So really, for me, I'm thinking Dre and each one more. Like, what's the swap of that do? That's the question. Is that right, Taylor?
yeah, and also just, I mean, I get that Andre Robertson's hurt and that he wouldn't equal Etuan Moore, but I just like, can we not do something else?
Yeah,
Like, it
Etuan
just
Moore
doesn't,
isn't
like,
isn't
push the
it's not
He
button
saves.
for
It'll
me.
save you money.
it's not a flashy pickup though. Is probably the problem for me. Like I'm thinking,
Or
like,
what do you want?
I don't know. It's funny is if
Trade
you'd have said
Steve.
if you'd have said J.R. Smith, like I'd have probably been like, oh, but Etuan Moore is a way better player, probably.
Yeah,
at this
like
point.
it's not
But
even
you know what I'm saying? Like
close. It's not even
Etuan Moore is just one of those guys you have to look up, and that's not the sexy pick.
What about
Like,
the
that's
same
not the
deal for
sexy man.
Nemanja Bjelica?
I like Bielitsa.
Oh my god.
Well, what happened to Wes Matthews, man?
It's the only,
No, here's the thing, Taylor, is that you can make that deal and then
And
save
then-
enough money to go get Wes Matthews in the offseason.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm in.
That's part of the deal is that you're
so you literally trade you basically trade a pick that wasn't going to play anyway.
Yeah.
And a guy that you weren't sure is going to be anything, and then get two guys that can bring an asset to your team that you've needed desperately for 12 years.
you trade Andre Robertson
And
in
get
the
shooting.
21st pick to the Sacramento Kings and bring back Nemanja Bjelica. Would you do that? And then you save enough money to go get a Wes Matthews.
Yes, without question.
Yeah, I do it.
Now,
mean, that's-
Bielitsa-
that's the-
Bielitsa's
we
a
need a
4, right?
backup.
He's a stretch 4.
He's a 4. He's a backup 4.
He's what you wanted Patrick Patterson to be.
He's your Euro Patrick.
I have no. I'm trying to Google him. I can't even get close to spelling his last name.
Let's see if anyone can spell it here.
BJELICA.
Yep, that's it.
Say it again.
What? How did you get it right?
Because I'm on the computer, and I cheated.
Okay,
All
great.
right, man.
Well, here's how I remember it is the way that Luke pronounced it, Bjelica.
Bajelica.
Oh yeah, that's right. But here's what's crazy about that. Like that's actually a trade that kind of makes sense for the Kings.
They don't have a draft pick.
And Dre would be. I think he'd play there if he's.
I mean, Dre will play anywhere as long as he's
But they could surround him with enough shooting with.
hurt.
Fox, Barn. I mean, he could play some 4 for them. And
Yeah.
play back. I mean, I don't know. Be kind of. I'd hate playing.
Holy
them,
hell!
even-
Did you know Bielitsa's already 30 years old?
Yeah, he's old.
Just
He fits our timeline.
did you preface that with "Holy hell"?
He fits our timeline.
Did I?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I think you did.
Yeah, I mean, he's last 2 seasons he shot over 40% from 3.
Can really, really shoot it.
Yep.
I mean, that's the kind of deal. Like the Etuan Moore, the Bielitsa, like that's the kind of you're not getting much more with the 21st pick than that.
and people will be so upset, but it's going to be something that
But like
really
those are
does-
guys that will play.
You're
They
right.
will play and they will make shots.
You're right. I'd actually prefer that than going ahead and drafting someone with that 21st pick.
There's a lot of guys that like it
You're
21,
exactly right.
but you just don't know what you're going to get. You have no
No.
idea.
The hard part, like I said, is that the guy that they would attach to the 21st. Like Thunder fans are historically, we always have like, and there's a question here in a
Yeah.
minute about people that are just upset about even sort of the idea that they would trade Steven Adams, right? Like, I just got muted for mentioning
Yeah.
Jonas Valanciunas in the same breath.
How
Gone
dare you?
again.
Yeah. I mean, I think they would like, I mean, if you can, Andre was nothing for the team last year. And then it's basically adding, Bielitsa, Etuan Moore to last year's team into the rotation. Like those guys would have for sure played last year. And like maybe you could even talk the Kings into taking Patterson too.
Man, yeah, you would save a ton of money.
Say
Go back to Sack.
Yeah, send him back.
They'd probably just waive him.
They might. They don't need him.
They might need a movie buff on the team.
Oh, true.
You guys know anybody that knows anything about movies? Well, we got one.
Okay, trade one of our role players for him. Trade someone who's playing 20 minutes a game for him.
You bring back Yogi Ferrell.
Dude, Yogi Ferrell.
Yogi, Andre Patterson, 21st pick for Bielitsa, Yogi Ferrell.
Yeah, I love Yogi Ferrell.
The Thunder save roughly $6 million, and then extrapolate that over that is enough savings to get you
Sure.
what you want.
Yeah.
And you
Now, is
bring,
that $6 million of hard salary?
Yeah.
So you're not even talking about, not that it matters to us necessarily, but that's multiplied whatever because of the whatever
the tax.
You
the
think?
luxury
Good
tax.
Lord.
Hey guys, our next Twitter
Luke,
question.
you here with us, man?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Hey guys, our next Twitter question
Dragon.
comes from @outlaw107, who says Cheetos, puffy, crunchy, or hot.
I'm a hot guy.
I'm a hot guy too.
You guys are hot guys.
I'm a hot man.
I'm a crunchy guy. Do I need to invest in hot Cheetos?
I mean, they're just crunchy hot.
They're just better.
Just normal crunchy Cheetos.
Crunchy Cheetos. Give me a crunchy Cheeto. I'm great.
When was the last time you had a crunchy Cheeto?
I like a Cheeto every now and again, like maybe once a year. I'll have a Cheeto. You know,
What do you eat it with?
just Cheeto. Nothing else.
With a hot dog?
With the hot dog. Oh no, just I'll just eat Cheetos.
Okay.
You know, I'll have a little
I used to
bag.
put the hot Cheetos on my hot dog when I was in high school. Those
Huh.
are good.
Not a bad idea, to be honest. Not bad.
It's
Hot
good,
Cheetos.
man.
Hot. I'm not into the hot
You don't like hot things?
things of chips. No, I don't think so. Too hot.
Too hot?
I get
They're
sweaty.
not really.
I get sweaty.
That means that you need
Grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
you.
real.
Grow up. Yeah, you
I'm
grow up.
sorry, guys. Hey guys, another Twitter
Don't
question.
move on yet. What are we doing?
Moving on from
Let's
Cheetos.
talk about puffy. We got to talk about puffy Cheetos.
What is there to say about puffy Cheetos? You know what I like? The Cheetos that used to be shaped like Chester Cheeto's paw. I like those Cheetos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are good, but they don't exist anymore.
They don't?
I don't think so. Haven't seen them in a while.
Never shop for them. I don't know.
No, I don't eat Cheetos. But
I'm
if I
not-
do, I'm eating hot ones.
Yeah, I'm not a Cheeto guy. If you had like the mixture of small bags and the big box, you know what I'm talking about? Like where's your power rankings of
You know, it's
Where's
always
Cheetos at?
left. Now here's the question.
original Lays?
Original Lay's and Fritos.
Yeah.
And Fritos.
Would you
always.
eat Cheetos above those three or those two?
I like Fritos in my chili pie, and I like Fritos after I've had 1 to 5 beers.
Okay.
125 beers.
One
Still,
to five beers.
I
Yes.
thought you were doing like how you do the episode numbers.
Yes.
but still under Cheetos. Would you go Cheetos?
If I'm just having
Cheetos,
the
Fritos,
chips,
Lay's.
yes. If I'm just having the chips, yes.
I like Original Lay's. I don't.
What?
Yeah.
I do
Can I
too.
tell you a trick?
It's
What?
Oh, Taylor, what were you gonna say?
He was about to hop on the Lay's train.
I'm on the original Lay's train
What?
though. And listen, I'm not saying I like them more than say the sour cream and onion
I mean,
Lay's.
you
If those are
can't.
in there, I mean no.
Casey Masterpiece? No.
No, impossible.
Yeah, no.
Can't.
Hey, so question about
Oh.
Lay's. Have you ever done it? I had a friend that showed me this. Is you take a bag, you open it, and you pour like a little bit of Cholula or hot sauce in it, and then you shake the bag up, and then you eat the chips. Now they got a little bit of that hot sauce on.
Oh man,
I've
no.
seen people do that.
I would
and
like
and
that.
It's delicious, man.
but it looks disgusting.
Hey, man, did you go eat Sam's the other day?
Yeah,
How was that, dude?
it's good every time.
Anybody eating at Costco yet?
You know, I
No.
bet the
I feel
entire
like that's the only reason I want a membership.
you and 3 children to eat at Sam's, I bet it was under $10.
It was $7.
That is
Wow.
unbelievable.
Will you double cut that pizza for me?
I
Dude.
miss going.
Archie would not be happy if you double cut that pizza.
He's just like, I want to smash it up, and
No. Holds it.
Yes.
Two hands.
that's how big they are.
Yeah.
2 hands.
I miss going with you all the time.
I know, man.
It's
Come on
great.
down. Still
Sam's
on.
is great.
I'll come. It was great. I mean, hot dog drink,
$2 basically.
$2.
$2.50 or something like that.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
There's not a deal like
And
that
it's
on
good.
the planet.
And it's good.
Hey, let me ask some questions. Are you about to wrap us up? I feel like you're about to wrap us up.
I have to leave.
I have some actual stuff I want to get Taylor and Andrew's opinions on.
You do.
We can stay and chat.
yeah, do
Luke
because
can go.
I do have to leave.
You can go.
Okay. I love you guys.
Love you, Luke.
Love you.
Have a good
Love you,
day.
bro.
Sorry we
Bye,
started late.
Luke.
That was the Raptors' fault.
Hey, come hang out with Luke at Banquet Cinema Pub next
Yeah.
Thursday.
He's gonna be wearing his cool hat.
I'm gonna be wearing my cool new hat.
You can check him out on the tripod right now.
Looking good.
I have a hard time wearing that hat not backwards.
It's the only way I'll wear it.
Yeah, only way.
Only way.
And I wear it.
Not Luke.
Not me, brothers.
See, Luke. All right. So one of the things that's, I don't know where it's just coming probably from fans' minds, but the Thunder. I mean, it looks like the Wizards are going to be moving Brad Beal in some form. Like
Does
that's I don't know. The Wizards don't know what they're doing because they don't have a GM. There's a couple people that have mentioned a Brad Beal trade.
Yeah.
Rob Wiley, 1986. How do you guys feel about Brad Beal trade? Adams, and the question is not whether or not the Thunder do it. The question is whether or not the Wizards do it, right?
Yeah.
For Adams, Jeremy Grant, Ferguson, 21 and a future first.
Yeah, I think if you're the Thunder, you have to do
Would
that.
the Wizards do it, though?
No.
So what kind of deal is out there for a Beal?
I mean, if they could for sure get the 4th pick from the Lakers and Kyle Kuzma probably,
But which apparently Kurt Rambis says Kuzma is off the table.
which is just BS.
Right.
Yeah, that's false.
Unless they're trying to save something like that for a Beal trade, but you'd have to have the 4th pick. But I'm telling you, man, dude, I said this yesterday, there is nobody at 4 that I get excited about. Jarrett Culver or
I like Culver, but like,
but
he's not a like the 4th guy in a
No.
draft. Like he's not getting Trae Young.
totally exactly totally
Or getting
different or
Jaren
Jaren
Jackson
Jackson
or something. Yeah.
yeah.
It's not that. It's not that. He's going to be a player. I think he'll play his chance to be a starter.
Yeah.
Good player, but he's not a franchise changing guy. Yeah, this is a bad draft to have the 4th pick.
Yeah.
3rd pick is a different question. Like
I think RJ moves the needle for somebody.
you can talk somebody into RJ being a
absolutely
franchise guy. I don't think he is, but there's enough people that believe that to where you could sell it to somebody.
Yep. That's why it's like you keep hearing the rumors about the Pelicans trade. It's the same offer they got in February.
Yeah.
I think it was Byron Scott, which normally he's so awful on the job, but
It's normally very awful.
but he said something yesterday. He's like, if the Pelicans didn't want this deal in February, they don't want it now.
and that's why they're saying go flip the 4th pick for somebody that we actually want.
Yeah. So that's the 3rd team. When they keep talking about the 3rd team, they're saying go find somebody else with the 4th pick.
And
but nobody wants the 4th pick.
Nobody wants it. Even Kevin O'Connor brought up the 4th pick for Steven Adams.
Yeah, to show you kind of an idea of the value of it.
Yeah.
No.
If the Lakers offered the 4th pick, I don't even know how they do this. I'm trying to even think how cap-wise they even make this happen. The 4th pick for Steven Adams. I mean, they don't have anybody else to do
that. Yeah. Would Kevin O'Connor say that because he thought Adams would be a good fit next to Zion?
I think he just did just because
like here's a player
that's the level of player that you could probably get for the 4th pick. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm the Thunder, I'm like, no, the 4th pick's not doing anything for me to help me win.
Not
right
immediately,
now.
unless you can flip it. It's the same thing the Pelicans.
Right,
Unless I can take the 4th and go get Brad Beal.
Right, exactly. If you could trade the 4th pick and Steven Adams, and then you trade the 4th pick and Dre and Jeremy Grant and Terrence Ferguson, and then they're like, sure, then you're in business. That's the only reason that you do it.
I think the contract that makes sense to me for the Thunder to try to get off of is Schroeder's. I think it'll be a difficult one, obviously. Like, I don't know if he proved enough over the course of the year for somebody to really think he could be their starting point guard.
It's hard to just, to me, like, yeah, I'm fine with that, but like, what kind of value do you get back?
Sure, like
in a
it's
deal like that.
So partly it's cap relief, or it could be some sort of player or whatever.
Like, who needs a point guard? Atlanta doesn't need a point. Phoenix is the
Phoenix is going to go after somebody apparently bigger than, obviously bigger than Schroeder. Like, I'd be blown away if they aren't at least having conversations with Memphis about Conley. The hard part is if you get into the free agency world, like you have elite, and then unless you're them and you're going to go after a Terry Rozier, or you're going to go after Ricky Rubio.
Ooh.
Because before, Goran is a player option. He's not obviously going to Phoenix. He's going to jump in. He's going to elect to keep his player option, I would assume.
He already did.
Yeah. Malcolm Brogdon.
I'd max out. I'd max it.
Yeah. He's restricted. D'Angelo Russell. I'm super down on Russell. I think you're higher than I am on him, Taylor.
He's good.
Why are you down on Russell?
I don't know, man. He's
been talking to Magic too much.
No, I think he's just erratic enough to where I wouldn't be excited about him being my franchise point guard, which is, I can't believe I just said that being a Thunder player, or a Thunder fan. But like, I've just watched him in moments where it's like, I don't love the way he plays.
Yeah. He's not like a top 10 player.
And he's the
league.
number 3 free agent point guard. So
yeah, but also he's only 22.
Yeah.
He averaged
Is that
21.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
God, he's
21, 7 assists.
Yeah.
Shot
37%.
37% from 3.
He's good.
He's a good free throw shooter. Yeah. He hits big shots too. I mean, the guy is really confident, and he does have really good vision.
He's good.
I think he was getting thrown around. He had all that LA Lakers stuff going on, and then was traded to Brooklyn, and he's still so young. So I think I don't know. He was an all-star last year. I think he's just going to be one of those perennial all-stars in the East for a while as a point guard.
He's good. I mean, if you have the chance to get him, if you're Utah, would you try to sign him?
Oh my God, that would change a lot for Utah.
Yeah.
Get Donovan Mitchell and D'Angelo Russell,
yeah,
and then everyone else was the same. That's a big deal.
Yeah, probably no favors in that circumstance, but
that's
still,
fine.
Yeah, that's a good team. If you're Phoenix and you have a chance to sign him,
yeah,
you do it.
Do it.
I mean, you just do it.
Deloading.
Any other expectations for the Thunder in the next week for you, Taylor, heading into draft night? What are your thoughts and expectations heading into draft night?
My expectations are that the actual draft night is not we're gonna know what's gonna happen before. If the Thunder are trading it, we're gonna know before, most likely. And so my actual thoughts are going into draft night, I'm just going to go drink a couple brews, hang out with the bros, and watch the draft. There's really not a lot of anxiety associated with, being a Thunder fan in this pick this year.
I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a fun draft. I think there's going to be a lot of movement. I think there's a lot.
Yeah, the draft is going to be fun.
because I think when you start to see how things are shaking out, like that, the 21st pick, I think they're going to wait to deal it because I think depending on who's available, that pick could hold greater value. You know,
You think so? You think they're gonna wait till draft night?
I think so. I think that I think that they'll wait. I mean, they have to wait to actually make the trade. They have to wait, because they're not allowed to, according to the Stepien rule, they're not allowed to trade that pick until after the pick is made.
Yeah.
And so they might wait until they're on the clock and like have like all these deals in line and be like, okay, well now we're gonna
Whoa.
deal it for whoever. And you may hear like Woj pop on there and be like, we're now hearing that the Oklahoma City Thunder are selecting for the Phoenix Suns or for whoever.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing about the draft is that Woj is just telling you what's happening 5 picks before it happens.
Yeah.
That's why ESPN hired him. I understand that because he was ruining the draft, but he's still ruining the draft. They just put him on TV to ruin the draft.
Right. I'm excited to see because they're not allowed to tweet like this team is selecting this player, but they're like, it's going to be hard for the Thunder to pass up Grant Williams at 21.
Yeah. The Bulls are ecstatic about Bol.
Right. At Jest on a Quest asks, would you rather Russ wear D Wade braids all next season or Steve wear the ninja headband all year?
A ninja headband. I like Russ with short hair. He usually changes it up. Usually he has 2 main hairstyles in a season. There's a first half and a second half for sure.
What do you think about the braids on Russell? I
don't think so, man. Like he already looks like a weird turtle. Don't give him like weird head accessories.
This is an interesting one. Will be good while Jay is not at the table because he's such a hater. At Zero Thunder Up Zero, she says, I'm beyond tired of the trade Adams narrative. Why are people wanting to trade him so desperately? He's a hard worker, plays through injuries, and is a good compliment to Russ. What's the deal?
Well, I mean, we've talked about it. It's not that he's not good, but he's the only player that has enough value to bring back a player that shifts the momentum of the Thunder forward.
Yeah.
If that center position just isn't as necessary with Russ and PG, then Steve is the only guy who has enough value to add a player that makes more sense than Steve with those guys, right?
Yeah, I think there's very, very few deals that make sense for the Thunder and for another team for that to happen. Like, I don't think the Wizards really want Steven Adams in a Bradley Beal deal. Like, I don't think he makes a ton of sense for them moving forward. Now, if you could I think the deal that makes the most sense, and I don't even know if it's going to be available because we don't know what the situation is in Boston, but if Al Horford opts in, then that deal makes a lot of sense for both teams, I think. I think that Steven Adams fits their timeline better. How many good years of Al Horford are left? Maybe like 2, 3 at the most. Like, that's a deal that fits the timeline of OKC. And like, that's a deal that would make sense. But other than that, like, you're not trading Steven Adams just to get him off the team. Like, nobody wants that. Yeah. And if you do
that's
want
an important distinction.
Yeah, if you want that, then you're an idiot. Then you're not paying attention.
Hey, so what would Adams' contract be for it to be something where people weren't even asking this question? Because the issue right now is he was the only thing that the Thunder did in the summer of 2016 that all these other teams had Alan Crabb for way too much money, and you had all these different contracts. Like
the Thunder did he and Oladipo,
Timofey Mozgov, right?
Right.
Which Oladipo has played into his contract. I think Steven, he's underplayed to his contract level, which is unfair because he's been really good for him. Obviously, he dropped off, but so did everybody else in this last season.
Yeah.
So what would be a number that you'd be like, everybody'd feel so much more confident, like, man, they've got a good contract. Like, you look at Grant.
16 million.
16. So it's, what is that? 8, 9 different? What is he making right now? 25, 24?
Yeah, 25.
That's a lot.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, it is.
It's a huge difference. It's a big contract. And at the time, he deserved it, but everything has corrected itself since 2016.
Yeah, and they're not the only team that's in a place because of that.
And he's only got 2 more years. It's not like he's on it forever.
Yeah, and the hard part is the majority of these teams that threw way too much money at players, like they're not in the dilemma.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, we just got to get rid of them because they're not good.
Yeah, this is not Timofey Mozgov.
It's not Bismack Biyombo.
This is not Bismack. This is not where you're like, I got to attach a first-round pick
No,
so
it's
that
like,
we can
oh
just
my gosh,
get this
guy is-
mistake off of our team.
This guy is so important to us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
Jonas
Miles-
Valanciunas.
Miles Plumlee. This is not.
Yeah, but Valanciunas wasn't actually. He got less than Steve.
He got like.
I'm just kidding.
Cantor's
You know what
contract.
you want to pay? You know what you want to pay Steven Adams? What Valanciunas was earning up until he declined. He's going to decline his 17.6 for next year
Yeah,
and become an unrestricted.
17.6 would be like, oh, okay. Like for Steven, like that's fine. The extra 7-8 million that he's getting is
Yeah,
significant.
Nick Batum, 5 years, $120 million.
Dude.
Oh, that's rough.
Andre Drummond, 5 years, $127 million.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of contracts that summer.
There's a lot of contracts. There's a lot of contracts that people regret.
4 years, $94 million for Chandler Parsons.
Yeah.
I mean, Hassan.
Yeah, there are
Whiteside.
way worse contracts out there.
There's way worse. Yeah. I mean, like, we're not saying that Steven has one of the worst contracts in the league, but it doesn't make his contract good.
No. But it was one of those things where like 2016 got a lot.
Oh, 2016 was crazy.
Got a
Unless
lot
you're a
of people.
superstar, then you got a bad contract.
Right. Exactly. That's a perfect way to say that. So I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to, you're right. Like just an important thing to remember, like nobody's trading Steve.
You're not dumping Steven Adams.
Steve.
You're not, yeah. I mean, you're not trading like Steven Adams to the Kings in the 21st pick and getting back Bielitsa. That's not what you're doing.
No.
But it is-
those cap savings would be enough to just completely blow up the Dunked On podcast. They would be so proud of Sam Presti
Right.
if they did such a trade.
But the thing is, like, the important thing for us to remember in the middle of that is that if we, for as high of a value as we fans have of Adams, the organization knows his worth.
And yeah,
And he's going to start shooting threes at like a 40% clip. I believe.
I think he needs to shoot.
I think he's going to. I think Presti doesn't say things without intention. I think he's
Yeah,
gonna start
but you
shooting
know
next
who's
year.
already shooting threes? Al Horford at a good rate. And at
I
a
would
good
take. I
percent.
mean,
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that before.
I would take Al. I would.
Well,
do it.
and much like what the Raptors did with Jonas Valanciunas, who is not as good as Steven Adams, but to trade a younger player who's good for a veteran player who you know is going to be smart and the type of player you want to see in the finals. Like, look how good Marc Gasol was for the Raptors in the finals.
Yeah, he had a couple good games.
he was helpful. It just
Dude,
having,
no. This was Game 6 was the only game he didn't do well. Every other game he was really, really good and really smart.
just having a
And he
smart.
was a
smart.
huge reason.
Just
He's
having
brilliant.
And Horford's got more in the tank than
Yeah.
Marcus.
But knowing where to be defensively, pass like the good passes, being able to work the. I mean, you're right. Like, and Steve's smart too, though. I mean, it's
Steve is
just
smart.
a different element.
I think he's the smartest guy on the
Yep.
team.
That's why. I mean, I think an Al Horford for him swap would be the only thing that really would get me like, okay, that makes sense.
I mean, to
And
me,
Adams would be fantastic in Boston, although he has to share minutes with the
Aaron-
greatest center of all time,
Aaron
Baines. But
could you have an Aussie backing him up?
no, there'd be so much conflict.
No.
So much
They
conflict.
would
But I
actually
would-
be like the new Stash Brothers. Those two,
Yeah.
like for real.
I would like that the unofficial Baines account would now just be following the Thunder a lot more, though. Would
Yeah.
be a lot more connected to my favorite Twitter account.
And I've said this before. The minute you see Steven Adams in a different uniform, you're just crying.
Yeah.
Like it would be devastating.
I don't think he's going anywhere this offseason. I think your biggest trade, Patterson, Robertson. I think Schroeder's probably a pretty distant third.
Here's the thing. I just wouldn't be surprised.
By
Anybody
anything?
else? Anybody outside of Russell or Paul? I just wouldn't be surprised. Steven, Schroeder, Robertson, Grant, Ferguson. Like I'm just not going to be. You just can't be surprised.
I think Grant is almost as untouchable as Paul and Russ now.
I think Grant's their best trade chip.
He is, but he's also like legitimately an asset that you're looking to get.
if you can get an experienced player for Grant. I mean, to me, like Sam has rarely let guys go into free agency.
You're right.
To me, they're either going to extend him or they're going to trade him.
Yeah. But heck, I mean, that could happen into the year too, like.
Yeah, it could I mean, it doesn't have to happen this summer. But to me, that's been the Thunder way.
Yeah, I think the Thunder are looking to improve in every single possible way.
Yeah. And if they can use Jeremy Grant, the 21st pick, to do that, they'll do it.
And we've been waiting for multiple months for this team to start. Like, we were so disappointed by the way the season ended. It's like, it's got to be this week. They've got to rebuild their franchise on draft night. It's like, okay, everybody calm down. Like,
to me, they just need to increase their IQ this summer.
Yep. Number one goal, which is why you like a guy like Grant Williams. Like, even if the Thunder trade 21, we can get in the second round, early in the second round.
And he may not be there in the second round now. Like, he's gaining steam. Oh. Hey, we should talk about our sponsor, Oklahoma Shirt Company.
Hey, let me tell you a little bit about my people at Oklahoma Shirt Company. So here's the deal. We had a bachelor party this past weekend.
Oh,
it was a blast. Went to Lake Eufaula, had a great time. But we were like, we should do something special for the groom-to-be. T-shirts, Yetis with laser engraved names on them, all through Oklahoma Shirt Company. Stickers, hats. What else? What else you want?
Shorts.
They'll do it for you. They do embroidery work. They do all sorts of screen printing. And if they can't do it in shop, they're going to find somebody to do it for you. They will take care of every single marketing or celebratory need you could possibly want. OklahomaShirtCompany.com. They also have their shirt of the month here in Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas. They give you a themed shirt every single month for $10 plus shipping and fees. OklahomaShirtCompany.com. And they're going to have a little gift pack for us at our draft party on Thursday night.
Yay.
And so, support the people that support us. If you have any sort of custom needs, man, call them and they'll hook you up. And like I said, this every time, $5 nonprofit or church, they give you a $5 shirt deal for, single color with all that different stuff. And so call them, check them out. If you have any needs, they'll take care of us, and you support the people that support Down to Dunk. I got one more question.
Miffed and peeved.
Tayshaun, are you Murph?
Yeah, man.
Are you Murph or Perved?
Yeah, I joined a Robbie Bennett. He invited me to join his team, like his basketball league team this season.
Oh, like a rec league?
Yeah, like a rec league.
Nice.
And so I played last night.
Wow.
I haven't exercised in like 3 months, and I was gassed, dude.
Yeah.
I was so gassed. And then like when you play with new guys, so you're kind of nervy out there on the court.
Oh yeah.
So I was just not very good last night. But
are you publicly apologizing to him?
Kind of, but more so I'm saying I'm G&B to be back on the court, baby.
How was, man? How was playing in the? I always think about when I go to different cities about.
They're pretty good.
Playing
His
the rec
team is
leagues.
pretty good.
Did you play? Did you play at the Gathering place?
No, it's at.
They do some cool.
Dude, there's this huge church here, First United Methodist Church, and it looks like a hospital. Like, they have those walkways that are like above the ground, and you can drive underneath them. And they have this entire gym, this brand new gym. And they have 2 full basketball courts. It's so weird. It's crazy.
That's where you play.
Overall, I'm G&B though.
Hey,
Very G&B.
Hey, here's what's crazy. We talk about some G&B, man. So I've been dealing. Not everybody knows this, but I've been dealing with like a pretty intense back injury for about the last year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't played basketball since December 15th of 2017. And it's crazy. But anyway, so it's been creating like major nerve damage anyway, or nerve issues. Had a decompression surgery in October. Finally went and got I've had like 5 injections, but the last one I think has worked.
That's awesome.
For the first time in a year and a half, I'm pain-free.
Bang, bang.
Whoa.
Yeah, and my lower back hurts, but that's just that's welcome to life. But my leg is the part that doesn't hurt. And so it's a little grateful and blessed. You know what I'm thinking about doing, Taylor, this week?
What?
Playing some basketball.
Oh, gonna ruin everything that you're doing good.
I mean,
Gonna
probably.
destroy all your progress.
Hey, but I am a little bit miffed and peeved as well. So, like I said, I went to a bachelor party at Lake Eufaula last weekend, and I got home, and on Monday evening, I'm like, man, my back itches. Like, what the heck is going on?
Oh no.
My wife pulls my shirt up. I have like 60 some sort of bug bites all over my torso. They're not bed bugs. They are not bed bugs, just to clarify. So we're sitting there, and I don't mention it because we got this text thread with all the guys that went on this trip, and so I don't mention it because I'm like, I don't want them to think I'm like, hey, anybody else have lots of problems? Then Tuesday night, I'm sitting in bed, and we're about to go to bed, and all of a sudden, one text message comes through, and it's like, hey, is anybody else just getting destroyed by chiggers? I'm like, yeah, actually, I have a ton of bug bites. I don't think it's chiggers, but yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's like 8 of the 10 guys that were on that trip. Like, we got bit by something.
Mosquitoes?
No, we got bit by something like in the water or like
Ooh.
something
Ugh.
at the lake. And so
Maybe that's why your back feels better.
baby, it's like a Spider-Man kind of
Yeah,
thing.
this is
But it's like a mite, like a little itty bitty like bug.
Mite Man.
Anyway, so I had all these. I went to the 2 different doctors. I'm not kidding. I go to my first doctor. I go to the urgent care up here on Memorial, and I'm sitting there, and it's a nurse practitioner, and I'm like, give her a little bit of the detail and take my shirt off, and
Yeah.
she's just like, huh. I don't have a clue what really that is, and I'm pretty sure it's not bed bugs, but let me go. 4 different women, like 2 doctors and 2 nurse practitioners, all come into the room and just am like staring at my not very attractive, riddled with bug bite body. And so,
I disagree with the not very attractive part.
well,
But
it's
go on.
I look like I have chicken pox. It's not really true, but anyway, so it's awful, man. It itched so bad, and now I'm like just sitting here waiting for them all to go away.
They're still there?
Oh yeah,
Hey.
They don't
Oh,
itch anymore.
show me.
All right, hold on a second.
Show them on YouTube. It's a
I
YouTube
got you.
exclusive.
YouTube exclusive. I'm not going to do that.
He's showing them
Will
right
you
now.
show
Anyway,
me?
so miffed and peeved, man.
Dude, that's terrible.
So miffed and peeved.
Join
That's
us
disgusting. Keep that crap to yourself.
Thursday
Wow.
night,
Wow.
Banquet Cinema Pub. Come hang out with us. It's gonna be awesome.
Seriously, you don't want to miss it.
It's gonna be cool.
Any closing thoughts, Taylor?
Taylor will be there.
Oh, yeah. I just can't wait for Bob Meyer's exit interview. I can't wait to see
Dude.
what he has to say.
I agree.
I can't wait. I just think he's so full of crap.
We
man.
need to see some more dry cry.
Dude, he's not a dry crier. And also, he was a sports agent before this. I just don't trust his.
Ooh, that's a good call. Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah, he was. He was big time. More dry cry.